Hey, John.
Eric, how's it going tonight?
It's going rather well. I have an interesting view of
Okay.
you
Why?
so we meet over Skype, right? So I can see you,
Yeah,
but the camera is like right behind
the
the
microphone.
mic. And so the mic is in focus and you're this blur in the distance behind the mic. I'm not complaining
That's
about the
okay.
view. I'm not saying
Yeah,
it's a
yeah.
bad view.
It's a better view than my face. No.
It was it was an artistic view. I'll call it.
Artistic, yes. I'm the Steven Spielberg,
Steven Spielberg of video
Sorry.
podcasts.
something like that. Yeah. Anyway, no, it's all good. It's all
Yeah.
good. I meant to return your video camera to you. I have it in a red bag behind me, but evidently I can't hold a thought in my brain for more than 5 minutes. But
Well, I can't say much because I forgot to bring a trebuchet twice. So, comes with age.
tis true. Hey, so I have a bit of a trebuchet update.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, because when last we left the trebuchet saga, the trebuchet had exploded.
Yes.
And so with a bit of went and got 3 more 4x4s, and
Okay.
we I consulted our friend on, hey, how do I keep this like bar from bending? And you would I feel dumb because I have a physics degree. The answer is move, don't have it span such a large distance, make it shorter. Because the distance between the poles only needs to be wide enough for the bucket to swing through.
Right.
Like it, which is 12 inches. So like having that at like 2 feet is plenty of space.
Yeah.
So anyway, not that I know that it works yet, but anyway, so I got more 2x4 or 4x4s.
Okay.
I got another bar, obviously. And then we narrowed the whole base, reused the 2 arms, but then we there are no screws and there are no nails in this. We used half lap joints on the 4x4. So basically, ate away half of the 4x4 on either way, and then bolted through on everything, and then did all the angles with like bolts, everything's bolted together.
Okay.
And it is significantly sturdier, significantly sturdier. Now, we haven't tried to launch anything, or haven't even done like the dry fire yet, but we wired it up and we made it so that it will swing. Because in the first tries, the buck, I had a cross brace down at the bottom, but the bucket couldn't swing through. So now it'll swing through. So the arm should go all the way over.
Nice.
And
nice follow through motion.
Exactly.
There you go.
And so should try it this next Saturday. But anyway, so we spent about 3 or 3.5 hours on Saturday rebuilding it basically from the ground up. And it looks better too.
Nice.
Yeah. So still need to build this coming Saturday 2 kind of wings off to the side, so that because since it's narrower, it needs a little bit of a wider base for stability. Right, exactly. Yep. So
gotcha.
But there you go. So
what you need is to put wooden wheels on it so you can roll it around.
I did think about
knock down medieval walls.
I did think about that. Yeah. So, but not wooden wheels, but I don't know. Probably not. It's light enough that it's pretty easy to pick it up, so long as you don't actually have the weight or the arm. Those are carried separately. Okay. But anyway, yeah, it was good.
I look forward to future updates.
I will have a video at some point. So Anyway, but so the goal is to get it so that it's mostly functional this Saturday. And then take it out to the farm where it'll be, and then the guy, the student I'm mentoring, and his father have like spring break, and they're going to finish it all up over spring break while I'm gone. So, and decorate it. They're going to put on some shields on the side and paint what do you call it? Heraldry or sigildry, or basically decorate it. Yeah. Yeah. So, okay, it'll be cool. I hope.
It sounds cool.
I think that he will have learned a lot, and I will have had fun. So it's a win-win.
Win-win. Yeah.
So
cool.
Anyway, it's all good. So the other big update in my life this past weekend was the kids in the pit for the Addams Family musical at the high school.
Right.
Was really good. Really good. So highly recommended if you're able to get there. But we're going again Saturday night, which will be the final performance.
Final night. Yeah. It is on my wife is currently out of town, and she gets back Friday. And so if she's up to it, that it's on the what to do Saturday night, but we have not bought tickets yet. So I'm hoping it's not sold out.
I don't know if it's sold out or not. It wouldn't surprise me because it was good. But they're doing so tonight was the last quote day off. We went to a choir concert at another high school tonight. Right. But my kids do Thursday night performance, Friday night performance, Saturday 2:00 matinee, and Saturday night performance. So they're going to be
busy.
Adamsed out in a couple more days. So, but
nice.
But anyway, that was fun. That was awesome. So, how about you? How you doing?
Well, keeping with the musical theme, my wife, I've mentioned before, sings in the Oregon Chorale. Mm-hmm. So it's a choir group. And this last concert, they sang with Portland Light Opera. Don't quote me on that, but it's an opera group, and they did a play by Gilbert and Sullivan called Trial by Jury. So it wasn't a normal everybody up in front in a choir singing, music. Okay. It was a choir loft with people singing, the music along with, but then actors, and the entire play is a music. I mean, there are no spoken words; it's all sung, everything. So there's a judge, and it's trial by jury, and I think the basic plot is a woman is suing a man for breaking off their engagement because he wants to marry somebody else. So that's the premise.
Okay.
And so it's a little silly, a little fun, a little goofy, but this is a play that ran in London in 1875. So it's a very old play. And we went and saw my wife perform in that, and that was a lot of fun. And then I also, this past week, I think I mentioned I sold my truck and got my wife a new vehicle. Mm-hmm. And the hitch, we had, bought it with the deal they would install a trailer hitch. And because of supply chain issues, wiring took a while to get it. So it finally got here, went to install the hitch. They got the wiring all installed, and found when they pulled out the hitch to install the hitch, it was all scratched up.
Okay.
And I'm like, that's not what I would call a factory hitch.
Uh-huh.
I need a non-scratched up one. And so they're ordering another one, and they will check it before they call me in to have me come out and drop off my vehicle to install.
Oh, so you saw it before they installed it?
No, I didn't see it.
Oh, okay. They just
very smartly called me ahead of time and said, it's actually pretty scratched. I don't know what the deal is, so we're just not going to do it. We'd be happy to order you you can order another one. Because
thank you very much.
I was very explicit. It will look like it came off the factory floor is my requirement.
Yeah.
And they're like, yes, this does not look like it came off the factory floor. Therefore, we will get you new one. Anyways, the other thing that I did this weekend was I installed, and this is going to sound like I'm total big brother, but it's okay because I kind of am, I guess. Ring. We've talked about Ring a number of times on the podcast, right? And I almost actually had an article today about Ring giving away video to law enforcement.
I saw that article. I almost used it too.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Anyways, so Ring now has what they call a car cam.
Okay.
And it plugs in to your ODBC 2. Is it ODBC or ODB? ODBC 2 port. for power, but it doesn't use any of the other
OBD, onboard diagnostics, I think is what it stands for. Onboard diagnostics.
OBD port, yeah.
OBD2.
Yeah, so that port is for the power, so that it can be powered even when the car is off.
Okay.
And it'll do motion sensing. And so it's this camera, use that for power. You run the cable, under through the dash and back around, it gives you all these little tools to install it. And then it's like a dash cam, and it's got a front facing cam and a rear facing cam. So this is installed in the vehicle that my 17-year-old son drives.
Okay.
Because I get insurance discount for having this.
Oh, okay.
Because now I have basically, video, real-time video. Anytime the car is in motion or it detects motion, it will record stuff.
Okay.
And so,
and it's at like 3G connected, so it's always uploading or something?
It is. It has a wireless SIM card. It has a SIM card in it to send data. Okay. Now, what it doesn't allow me to do, which slightly irritates me, is it doesn't allow me to add my own SIM card because I can get a better data plan. It's pay us, Ring.
Oh, of course.
It's $6 a month, so it's not,
okay,
an insane amount, but it's like and it'll keep 180 days of video of anytime the car is on, it'll record. And the inside camera, it has a little cover so you can close it if you don't want to have it basically view you or your passengers while you drive.
Okay.
But it'll always do the front-facing camera, which is kind of fun, kind of nice.
Okay.
I like it. It's good for my boy. And my boy actually doesn't mind it. He's like, I kind of like it because he's a cautious driver already and a little nervous about driving. And he's like, pretty soon his 6 months, are they? His 6 months are up. So he can now drive other people. And he's hoping that when he tells other people, no, because I told him, you can make Dad the bad guy. Make Dad the bad guy. Yeah. He has to have that, front facing open whenever anybody else is in the car with him. He's like, maybe no one will want to drive with me. So I won't have to be the one driving people around. I'm like, okay, that's cool.
Whatever makes you happy. Okay.
I have a Ring car cam now.
Okay. I will say, having only last year gotten a car that has a backup camera, it's really spoiling. It's really nice.
Technology in cars is actually very nice. I am rooting for your 300,000 miles almost as hard as you are.
Probably
and I'm very
more.
Disappointed that you're not just accepting the fact that you've probably already hit 300,000 miles. Just your odometer has stopped working.
It rolled over 288 actually, just like today.
So
it must have done something.
Celsius to Fahrenheit calculation for your odometer.
Oh, totally. I'm totally watching it now these days when I'm driving. I'm like, is it working? Okay, it seems to be working.
There's another way we can get you to 300,000 miles pretty fast. You're not going to sell the car, right?
I cannot imagine that it's worth anything.
Because we can go in and actually adjust the odometer.
Oh, just the odometer. No. See, that would be good. No, I thought you were going to say don't rent a car for spring break and just drive it to the East Coast and leave it.
Yeah. I'd vote on that one. No, alternatively, you just get put it up on blocks, start, run gas, press the accelerator and have the wheel spin, not going.
What are those called, like a dynamo or something like that? That
Just don't bother plugging it in. Just let it run.
The bad thing is I actually did calculate based on my miles per gallon, how many miles I have left, how much it's going to cost me to hit the 3,000 miles. And it's like over $5,000.
That's $5,000 towards an EV, my friend.
I know. No. There's a reason I did that calculation, but you can't actually just go down and buy a good car though. So I don't know.
Not yet.
I don't know. I'm hoping that supply chain and maybe the whole economy collapsing will help make cars more available. I don't know. That's bad. I don't know.
All right.
It's okay. But I don't drive enough. We drive my wife's car whenever we're going anywhere these days. Anyway, all right. How about a topic? What'd you bring tonight?
All right. So the one I saw this week, well, among the many I saw this week, like there was the Ring one where Ring is sharing your data with police, which we've talked about before. But apparently this one, they shared data of not the victim, the victim's neighbor,
right,
who happened to, which
from inside their house.
From inside their house, yeah. So this one was worse. But and then there was, I don't know if you saw the one where the guy from Brazil sent up hey, that George Santos guy in Congress? He ran a card skimming operation in Seattle, and I got arrested, and he threatened to hurt my family if I told anybody. But now that I'm in Brazil and he's in Congress, I think I'm safe. Brian Krebs has a fun post on it.
Oh, I'll have
so
to
there's
go read
that one. Anyways, no, but the one I grabbed is a health insurance information company. So Cerebral, it's they do private health information, mental health assessments, etc. And they have a bunch of patients, 3.1 million patients in the U.S. It's a telehealth startup.
Okay.
Which, of course, during COVID, and everybody being virtual and online, they exploded in popularity. Well, apparently, this company, somewhere down deep in their terms of service, which nobody ever reads,
of course,
is they were sharing data that they were receiving from 3 million patients with advertisers and social media giants like Facebook, Google, and TikTok. Right? So they collected your name, phone number, email, dates of birth, IP address, bunch of other demographic, a bunch of data from your online mental health self-assessment that you might take.
Ooh.
And shared that with basically advertising companies. So advertising companies could track you. And there's a bunch of more stuff in this article. It's a great article by Zach Whitaker in TechCrunch.
Oh, I just realized that was a tech. I did not read this article, but mine also is a TechCrunch, so that's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the notice to the customers about this information. So it's not a breach necessarily. It's, hey, you guys accepted this, and just someone actually found out and is reporting on it. It says at the very bottom that the data collection has been going on since October 2019, and we've had this tracking code in our app forever. And apparently they just, now that they've been caught red-handed, they removed the tracking code from their apps, but everybody they sold this information to doesn't have to delete any of the data that they've already shared with them. So again, I don't know what the right lesson here is, but if you are doing anything online, just assume it's not private. So there you go.
Okay, I'll have to go read that. I do like Zach's reporting, and I receive his weekly newsletter. Yeah. And I often pick topics from it too.
Yeah, that's where I got this one from.
Yeah. Wow. Well, I brought 2 articles, but my first, maybe 1.5, but my first is also from TechCrunch. I didn't notice who the journalist was, but this is almost follow-up, except it was follow-up from almost 3 years ago. So I'm like, yeah, no, it's a TTL on follow-up in the sense that a couple years ago, we talked about a ransomware incident in Germany at hospitals that was responsible for what is believed to be the first death, caused by ransomware, known at least. And so this article is a takedown by German and Ukrainian police of members of the Doppelpaymer ransomware gang, which are the ones that were believed responsible for that particular incident and many others. So it says German and Ukrainian police working with law enforcement partners, including Europol and the U.S. Federal Bureau of Investigation, said they took action last month against the notorious group blamed for numerous large-scale attacks since 2019. It said the Ukrainian police officers interrogated a Ukrainian national who is also believed to be a core member of the Russia-linked ransomware operation. Interesting. and that they're the authorities, are analyzing equipment seized during the raids to determine the suspect's exact roles and links to other accomplices. It sounds like, the ringleaders probably did not get caught. The German police also released arrests for 3 additional suspects that are based in Russia. So those, won't be served or won't be unlikely to be caught unless they are caught outside of Russia. But one of which is Igor Turashev, who is also wanted by the FBI for his role in in Evil Corp, and who is accused of, quote, having committed acts of blackmail and computer sabotage in particularly serious cases. So this group targeted at least 601 companies, including 37 in Germany, and that victims have paid out more than 40 million euros between 2019 and 2021. So they didn't say anything about 2022 or later, but so I kind of cheer for these whenever I read them, and so good for them. The second thing I brought was that I saw this linked, I think, from Risky Business or Risky Biz, was and it's just there's not terribly much information out here on it, but the CISA has launched their ransomware vulnerability warning pilot program, which there's a link to the FAQ, but it says that as part of RVWP, there's a lot of acronyms. Government's very big into their acronyms here. CISA leverages existing authorities and technology to proactively identify information systems that contain security vulnerabilities commonly associated with ransomware attacks. Once CISA identifies these systems, our regional cybersecurity personnel notify system owners of their security vulnerabilities, thus enabling timely mitigation before damaging intrusions occur.
That sounds like the government is getting into the hacking your website business.
That
hacking your company business.
Exactly what it doesn't just sound like it. Yes. It does look like it wasn't clear that you can sign up for this if you are a company. It sounds like it's let's see, where was it? This was in the CISA's Cyber Hygiene Vulnerability Scanning Service. And let's see, what does it say?
So you have to be a government agency to sign up?
Well, it says it, at least under this, which is a sub-service under this, it says who can receive these services: federal, state, local, tribal, and territorial governments, as well as public and private sector critical infrastructure organizations. So I don't quite know. Yeah. I mean,
electrical grid.
Exactly. Utilities, okay. I would think. But, I don't know.
I'm sorry the power is out because the U.S. government accidentally triggered something in our website that knocked us offline.
Well, maybe you shouldn't have tried to port sweep that printer.
Yeah.
No. No, I have absolutely crashed printers before just by hitting them, doing a port sweep. I don't know. It's been a while, but, okay. So, they had the official launch of this. It evidently, this was required in the Cyber Incident Reporting for Critical Infrastructure Act of 2022, or CIRCIA, which President Biden signed into law in March of 22, required CISA to establish the RVWP.
Okay.
Okay. And there's a fact out here that's basically, it sounds like, they do vulnerability scanning. It's not, I think, based on the detail underneath the Cyber Hygiene Vulnerability Scanning Service, that you can sign up. It's not clear that they're just, port sweeping everybody. I think that you sign up and say, hey, here's my IP ranges, and then they'll help.
Right.
But I don't know. And it sounds like they give you, well, it says, how should I expect to receive notifications? CISA regional staff members will make notifications by phone or email. How do I verify it's CISA? If you receive a notification, they give you a phone number or email that you can check with whether it's legit. And am I required to comply? Nope. Receiving a notification does not require you to comply with or deploy any of CISA's recommendations. You might want to. you might consider it
an early warning system.
I've read a number of disclosures and TLPs here from various organizations. They're rarely off the cuff.
Yeah.
They tend to be the basics of go do this stuff now. Anyway, so I don't know. Like I said, this was kind of a half a topic because there's not a ton of info in here about exactly how this is, and I don't think it's going to be aimed at companies anyway, or at least not your average company. But it would not surprise me, assuming that they get it off the ground and have it working well for the critical infrastructure, that as companies could sign up and say, hey, well, why don't you scan my port range? So
okay,
we'll see.
Ready for something fun?
All right, yep, hit me up.
I have discovered that I am apparently the only one on the planet that thinks this is something fun. So click on the link I gave you. It's a company, Electromechanica. They create electric vehicles, and they have an all-electric vehicle called the Solo, and it's basically a 3-wheel vehicle, fully enclosed, one-seater. So it's essentially a motorcycle with a steering wheel.
Okay. I'm watching the video.
One wheel in the back. I think this is so cool. And my daughter has prohibited me from getting one because she says it's the ugliest thing on the planet. I
was just going to say it might be the ugliest thing I've ever seen.
So this is why, anyways, so I guess I probably shouldn't say very seriously, but you can go sit in one in person in Washington Square Mall. So the mall down the road.
Really?
That's one of their sales points.
Okay.
Is the mall. They have a little kiosk in the mall, and you can go sit in one, and it looks super. Anyways, so I don't want to say seriously, but I was thinking about
semi-seriously. Okay.
This might be a fun little car to get for just commuting around, but it's because it's only one person and it doesn't fit a lot of stuff.
And no engine. It says all electric. So
it's all electric. Yeah. So 100% electric. Anyways, I was thinking about this. Today, they announced a complete restructuring of their company and cited a bunch of reasons with that they're killing off this product. They're going to build a 4-wheel something or other.
Oh, so everybody reacted the same way
apparently
as everybody else other than Eric.
Apparently.
You're a target market of one.
Apparently. But because of a number of different reasons, among them being governments not knowing how to classify the vehicle.
Okay.
It's classified as a motorcycle, but people don't have to wear helmets because it's fully enclosed. It's got, it's small. Anyways, and so they were saying there was a difficulty in various other things, but it's made for like a get around the city, not really drive more than, 30 miles an hour type vehicle. So I'm keeping my eye on the company to see what their 4-wheel version is, because maybe that will be as. The other thing I liked about it is I could fit it in the garage real easy.
I think you could probably fit 4 of them inside the footprint of my wife's truck.
Anyways, that's my something fun. Go check out this cool little vehicle, which has, as of today, literally today, now
is no longer available. And it's emvauto.com.
Yeah, emvauto.com. They are selling they have 800 left in stock, so they're selling them. So maybe I can get a fire sale deal.
Ooh, maybe you can.
And
Go
then
get
really, I get
a
dissatisfied
collector's
by camera.
edition.
Yeah. Yeah.
It'll appreciate in price.
Sure it will.
Uh-huh.
If I can license it. Anyways, there you go. That's my something fun. Just a goofy little car, 3-wheel vehicle, fully enclosed. It looked fun.
Okay. All right. I will give you that it looks unique.
That's very...
It looks...
very polite.
Very unique. That's okay. That's okay. It's okay.
All right.
It's okay. All right. Okay. This is not fun. This is not fun per se.
Funny.
It's not even really funny, I don't think. Like in some place. Okay. So biggest news of the week.
Yeah.
That is not security news is the collapse of Silicon Valley Bank and Signature Bank. Silicon Valley Bank is the one that got like all the press. And it's complicated. Like,
of course it is.
Was there other things that happened, blah, 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 maybe. Yeah. But like at the end of the day, they were taken down as far as like everything I've read by literally a run on the bank. They had something like 40 some billion dollars withdrawn last Thursday and Friday.
Yeah.
Like $42 billion. They didn't have $42 billion on hand, even though they do have more than that in investments. A lot of those investments were held to maturity.
Market's not doing so hot right now.
Well, the interest rates have risen, which means bonds that have a lower interest rate have lost value.
Right.
Banks, complicated rules for when they do and don't have to like mark down, mark to market what the things are actually worth and what counts as liquid and what. Anyway, it's very complicated. There's an article that is my something fun here, even though, like I said, it's not particularly fun. But this article is very long and very both detailed and also humorous. Like it made me laugh out loud, literally several times. This is so it's an article on bits about money. It's a guy that used to work at Stripe. U.S. expat, lives in Japan. I think he mentioned that in his afterword here. And anyway, he talks about the finance system, but it's just, I found it very educational, the first couple of these I read. So he doesn't send them out very often, or at least I don't read them that often. But anyway, this is a really good thing and kind of an explainer of how and why Silicon Valley Bank failed, and a little bit about, the rest of kind of the, what's behind the curtain that we kind of get to conveniently ignore, living our everyday lives, not thinking about the, let's call it, complexity in other systems.
I am convinced every system that I don't know about has a curtain and skeletons that I have no interest in seeing how it works behind. I just trust that it will work.
No.
The sewer will work fine. Water will show up at my house. Whatever it is. I don't want to see behind that curtain because I will be frightened.
Well, and you know it. You've been in software for many years. I have been in software for many years. Sometimes I'm shocked that any software works.
Yeah.
And then you like lift your eyes up and you're like, how does anything work? How does networking work? How do the phones? And it's like fault tolerance, right? It's the squishy bits that kind of continue, and humans are the squishy bits in many of the cases of just tolerance. Like, why do I have to like unplug and replug my Tableau once a week? I don't know.
But
Linux networking is what I know it to be, but I don't know.
On the flip side, I don't think I've unplugged my Tableau in 4 years.
And it still works?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's totally my network. It's totally my network as well. Or something. Or I got a dud. Or it's the hard drive I've got plugged into it. Or it's a gremlin.
Or the power supply is not keeping a steady 5 volts headed to the...
I am trying to find, like, I don't know. I live in an old house. Sorry, this is totally a segue or a aside.
Success.
But I sorry, I didn't mean to like complain about this, but my Tableau drives me nuts. I love it, and then it just doesn't. It stops working, and then I unplug it, plug it back in, and it works for a while. And since I've been trying to debug it, I want to find another network jack, like network cable, somewhere in the house. And I know there's a second one because I can see it going into the attic, but I don't know where it comes out. Somewhere so that I can try plugging it in elsewhere and see if it really is like network. But I got one of those little network adapters. I thought, it's the Wi-Fi. So I'll get a Wi-Fi adapter that has a Ethernet jack on it. So it'll like, I could plug that in and then Tableau thinks it's on Ethernet instead.
Yeah.
I mean, it sort of works, except that the little Ethernet thing it's got a red signal that says, hey, your network is awful here. And I'm like, you're 10 feet away from a wireless access point.
You've got unshielded cable running through your walls. Yeah, somewhere.
Right? Yeah, no, I'm not confused. I just don't know how anything works. How does anything work? Anyway, okay, back to this bits about money.
Sorry. You had something fun.
This is not about the Tableau stuff. Anyway, this article is amazing. I can't even do it justice in here, but there were a couple of things that just made me like laugh something off. So here's the thing, most people sensibly don't care about any of this. This is all the stuff that's going on, and only care when a financial product which is core to their lives, bank deposits, suddenly and unexpectedly cease to function. Bank deposits are much more complicated products than they are believed to be. When banks fail, the most important societal impact is that deposits, which are money no less real than physical script and in many ways much more real, suddenly have an unanticipated risk of not being money.
So everything's just bits on a computer.
Well, yeah. And I mean, obviously the government / FDIC stepped in and was like, don't worry, we're going to keep depositors whole.
Yeah.
Good. Like, that's the minimum. The creditors and job. Equity holders are clearly out.
Sorry.
But anyway, okay, but whatever. So I'm just going to read a little bit more about this, and then I don't know. You'll have to go read it. It's very long. It's very awesome. Let's see. Banks engage in a maturity transformation in borrowing short and lending long. Deposits are short-term liabilities of the bank, while time-locked deposits exist. Broadly, users can ask for them back on demand. Most assets of a bank, loans, or securities portfolios have a much longer duration. Society depends on this mismatch existing. It must exist somewhere. The alternative is a much poorer and riskier world, which includes dystopian instruments that are so obviously bad you'd have to invent names for them. Take an exploding mortgage. The only way to finance homes in a dystopian alternate universe, it's like the mortgages you're familiar with, except it's callable on demand by the bank. If you get the call and can't repay the mortgage by the close of the day, you lose your house. What did you do wrong to make the mortgage explode? Literally nothing. Exploding mortgages just explode sometimes. Keeps you on your toes. Anyway. There's more. They're talking about, like, okay, I got to read one more little thing. Over the weekend, the regulators made some calls and asked regional banks what deposit outflows looked like on Friday and how many wires were queued up for execution on Monday morning. Obviously, like, how many other banks are in a similar situation?
Right.
Back to the quote. This was complicated by some banks finding it surprisingly difficult to add numbers quickly. You see, the core puts the queued wired requests in a different part of the system than Friday's outflows. We have a report of Friday's outflows, but it gets crunched by an ETL job, which only finishes halfway through Saturday. And Cindy, who understands all this, is on vacation. And eventually, very serious people said, figure addition the freak out and call me back soonest.
Right.
Anyway, one more and then I'm done. There are a sharply finite number of hours between Friday and Monday, and we cannot conveniently extend them to cover multi-party discussions about how to get a core system to import a CSV dumped by a beleaguered data scientist from a Jupyter notebook based on a hopefully up-to-date MongoDB snapshot so that it can be provided to FDIC agents on site, which...
Right.
Seeing as we live our lives in mini notebooks these days, I'm like, I can totally, like, this requires very little imagination on my part. Yeah. So anyway, the article is awesome. It explains a lot about kind of the behind the scenes. I feel like it's kind of like that Billy Joel song, "We Didn't Start the Fire." You know, if you reread this thing over and over again and you actually understand everything in it, you will have leveled up. But anyway, here's my something fun.
Definitely.
It's not particularly fun. Many people have had a very bad week, but
educational.
It's very educational. Yeah. So there you go.
Yeah. All right, dude.
All right, my friend. I will talk to you next week.
Have a good night.
Enjoy.
I will see you. Bye.
Bye.